Senator Munson. Honourable Senators, I can still see Jacques Demers in the other chamber sitting straight across from me with that smile on his face every day. And I have my Habs pin on today that Coach gave me early in his career in the Senate. He said I could call him Coach. He said we could all call him Coach, and that was a wonderful thing. An incredible NHL coach, World Hockey Association Hall of Famer, coach of the Quebec Nordiques, St. Louis Blues, Detroit Red Wings, Tampa Bay. But then it was the Montreal Canadiens, the Stanley Cup, 1992-93, the last time a Canadian team won a Stanley Cup. During that series, I'd moved back to Canada from China with my sons, and we were sitting in our home, and I convinced my sons, they were 5 and 8, that I also played for the Montreal Canadiens. And never did I imagine being a senator, let alone a senator sitting in the same chamber as both hockey greats Jacques Demers and Frank Mahovlich, the Big M, and Jacques, Coach. Dreams do come true, colleagues. Fun times they were. It was no surprise that during that time there was also bell ringing taking effect. Believe it or not, we rang bells in those days. And it was during that time, because the hockey season was at the same time with the Stanley Cup playoffs, we would talk hockey while the bells rang. And we found it convenient to be sitting in the Senate or somewhere and talking about a trade, a penalty shot, or a call, or a playoff run to talk about. So it didn't take long for us to connect on hockey and other issues because sports is important for me, and we talked about the Special Olympics movement, that sports can be transformative and build confidence and change lives. Being part of a team and having good role models, that's what he was, right, folks? A role model, a mentor. It can make a positive difference in a person's life. Coach knew that. And I know that Jacques Demers has made that difference in many players' lives through his leadership and involvement in hockey. But something very important happened in here. You might remember Senator Joyce Fairburn and her literacy cause and how good she was at that. She and Jacques connected immediately, and she helped him along the way. Lack of not being able to read did not stop Jacques Demers from convincing Canada and the world that you can do anything you want in this country or anywhere. And Jacques was that man. And Senator Fairburn was an ally for him in the Senate through that triumph. Honourable Senators, when I think of Coach, I see his big smile. I think of a man who treats everyone with respect and dignity. He treats everyone like a winner. And I really love this Montreal Canadiens pin. It goes right up there with my Senate pin, maybe sometimes a little higher. Maybe one day they'll win the cup again. But it reminds me of what Coach Demers believes in, and I want to thank him for his wisdom. And I don't have any idea for the life of me how this got here. I know you're not supposed to have props, but he came here wearing a blue uniform. But I always felt that Jacques Demers looked better in red. Thank you, Honourable Senators.
Senator Carignan.